يا نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله عليك. يا نبي سلام عليك، يا رسول سلام عليك، يا حبيب سلام عليك، صلوات الله عليك.
قلبي يرف محلقا ويجوب في هذه السماء، يحكي شعورا عارما وصل الشعور الأنجما.
قلبي يرف محلقا ويجوب في هذه السماء، يحكي شعورا عارما وصل الشعور الأنجما.
وحكى لهم عن فرحتي متألقا متبسما، قال الذي ما قلته ليت الفؤاد تكلما. واجم من الفرح الذي غطاه حتى أبكما، حتى الحديث يقوله مترددا متلعثما.
وحكى لهم عن فرحتي متألقا متبسما، قال الذي ما قلته ليت الفؤاد تكلما. وجم من الفرح الذي
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa salamu ala Nabi al-Kareem. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon every single one of us. I have the pleasure, Imam Dr. Mahjoub Jaili, the chaplain of Darul Arqum Islamic Center. As you can see here, we are at ISU University, Iowa State University, and we have a number of people with us here in American Muslims Day in Ames, American Muslims Day in Ames at Iowa State University. And as you can see here in the background, we are having a number of guests, and we are expecting actually over 1,000 people to be with us today. And actually the guests are coming from different places in Ames, and I would like to send a particular word of thanks for all of those who visited us today. Particular word of thanks goes to the different religious centers in Ames here, and I'd like to start with the synagogue as well as the different churches. And particular word of thanks also goes to KHOI Radio, who have helped us very much in order to publicize this particular program. A special word of thanks also goes to Ames Police, who have done their best in order to give us the secure that we are in our place, and with all kinds of security in this time when the Muslims are worried about what is happening all over the world, particularly in the far southeastern corner where the Muslims have been slaughtered in cold blood. And a special word of thanks also goes to the different people who have done their best in order to sponsor this particular event. A number of them have been working day and night for over a month in order to have what you're seeing now as a very successful event. And as you can see, we also have in the background, we have You see, culture, it's a cultural touch as well as a religious touch. And as you see here, we have culture from different Muslim countries, Far Eastern as well as Middle Eastern Islamic countries, and we have people coming from different corners of the Muslim world. Yeah, I have here a number of sisters who are showing the beauty of the Islamic culture. These are henna drawings. This is one of the aspects that shows how peaceful the Muslims are living with the different people in Greater Ames community. Thank you very much. In another corner, what we have here, thank you very much. What we have here, that is kids corner. And they are also helping the kids from different faiths. We were expecting, as I mentioned, over 1,000 guests to turn in here. And as you see also in the background, we have foods coming from different Muslim and Islamic countries. This is like all kinds of exotic foods, and people are enjoying it very much. Brothers, make dua for us. Thank you very much. And also we have in another corner here, we have a number of sisters who are also showing other aspects of the Islamic culture. And what we have here in particular, two sisters actually who are showing the non-Muslims how to put on hijab. And as you see here, they have different pamphlets which tell the non-Muslims about the significance, importance of hijab, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded it on the Muslim sisters. This is one of our guests. Can you show her? This is one of our guests. We would like Matab Jaili is helping her how to put on the hijab. All right, this is really interesting. Thank you very much. This is one of the ways, and actually it reveals how Muslim sister should appear. This is not only in Islam, as you know, it's only in Christianity where you have the nuns are getting dressed like that before they get to the place of worship. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you. And this is another corner that shows an aspect of the Islamic culture. And as you see, things coming from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Emirates, and Bahrain. And we have another brother, calligrapher. Full name, please.
Pakistan.
Full name, please.
Muhammad Kamal Farooq.
Yeah, Muhammad Kamal Farooq, brother from Pakistan. MashaAllah, you could see how beautiful his calligraphy, different skills, mashallah. Someone from non-Arabic countries, and he has maybe one of the best calligraphies in America. And this is actually one of the corners, if you could see. This is one of the corners that shows the significance of Islamic Sharia and how Islamic Sharia coincides with American law. It matches a lot, because what Islam considers as criminal, America also considers as criminal. And it's significant that we know Sharia is not only about amputation, cutting off hands, or doing what as some people mistakenly understand. Sharia is a word that is comprehensive, which involves a number of things. It's about how we should worship God, and it is about how we should interact in our social business on all these kinds of relations. And there in fact is another aspect which deals with the public law, whether it is criminal or civil law. These are all aspects, and brothers have collected a number of things that show Sharia doesn't contradict that much as some people misunderstand. It doesn't contradict so much with the American law, it's largely. What Islam considers criminal, also America considers criminal. It's only in terms of a few things that are different. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah, from Egypt. Full name, please.
Abdul Hamid Azzaz.
Abdul Hamid Azzaz, Dr. Abdul Hamid Azzaz. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah reward you. Jazakumullah khair. Yeah. A number of brothers, as you can see in the background, a number of brothers also are dealing with all these kinds of stations where they are answering the questions of those who turn up here as guests today. As I mentioned, we are targeting over 1,000 people, and it seems that already we had more than 300 people who showed up here, and over the next 4 hours we're expecting more and more people to come. Thank you very much. Greater Ames community, different churches, different the synagogue and the Buddhist temple here in Ames. Thank you very much for feeling us, or I mean letting us feel that we are at home. Thanks very much. Thank you very much, KHOI Radio. Thank you very much, Ames Police, for giving us the feeling that we are at home. And one of the people also I'd like to send a particular word of thanks on behalf of the Muslim community in Ames. Yeah, involves the neighbors who've been doing their best, giving us smiles, doing their best to show that we are really at home. Thank you very much. And one last word of thanks goes to all the volunteers who've been working over a month and a half in order to prepare, in order to plan for the event that you see now. Thank you everyone. Thank you very, very much for doing your best in order. Thank you very much for preparing and planning this event. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah reward us. May Allah bestow His mercy upon every single one of us. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasuli Sayyidina Muhammad.
Well, I think it's a very good idea to do outreach. The community needs to understand that we are fully involved and part of the local community. We're good neighbors, and we look forward to interacting with our brothers and sisters of all faiths. That we are just like them. We are all one people. We are all the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve, and we have that in common.
I'm Roger Engstrom. I live here in Ames. I've lived in several different countries, and I always find that all the people are quite happy and quite receptive. This is my friend over here. This is my friend Salim. We like to enjoy. We do enjoy coming to days like this to learn more about different religions, and especially today about Islam. Yeah. Very nice that you put this on. Thank you.
Well, in this country, people have a misconception for Islam. So we thought it would be a good idea to have an open house. People can come and ask questions and know about real Islam, what Islam is all about. And plus, of course, the food brings people, so we have a lot of food over here for people to eat. And I'm glad so many people showed up, and they seem to be interested in Islam, and they're getting a lot of answers to the question they have, and I'm glad they showed up, and we are here to tell them about Islam. It's a religion of peace, not war. We love each other, and we're all human beings, inshallah. And I'm so happy everybody showed up here, and a lot of people here. I'm glad showed up.
I I have with me Cody, one of the ISU students.
Former ISU
All right, former ISU student with me here. I'm very happy that we have a number of students, graduates, and people coming from different churches with us today. We're very proud. How are you, Cody?
I'm good.
Yeah, it's nice to see you here. Thank you very much for coming with us. So, what about your general impression about this day?
General impression? It's been a really cool opportunity to. Me and a group of our friends decided to come here just to sort of increase our awareness in the Muslim culture. And
how do you feel with this special garment?
Good, I like it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Excited to see what it looks like in a picture.
Oh, thank you very much. And have you tasted our different exotic foods that come from?
I haven't gotten to the food yet.
All right, I hope you will enjoy it.
So, Assalamu alaikum. My name is May Taha. I'm here today in Muslim Day in Ames. That's an event we're hosting here. The Islamic Center in Ames is hosting that event. The aim of that event is to introduce Islam to our community in Ames, invite people to join us, maybe try some food, see some of our culture, ask questions if they have, and also we're having events for kids. We're having some crafts, some henna, so hope people inshallah would come today and enjoy themselves. We're having Sister Sumaya here with me. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sumaya. That's my sister and my friend here. She come all the way from Des Moines to join us. Do you want to say anything about today, the event?
Oh, this is wonderful. I'm honored. This is an honor for me that I'm here and that I'm being able to serve Allah.
We are lucky to have you. Yeah.
Because I just want to serve Him and be submissive to Him. And this is, I'll just start crying.
No, don't. Please don't. Jazakallahu khairan. And I'm just thankful to all volunteers who helped today. It seems like a good crowd. I can see. I hope the camera can show people all those people who come and join us today. Jazakumullahu khairan, Brother Ibrahim, for that.
My name is Talia, and I'm here as a volunteer for Muslim Day. And we made this event because we want people to learn about Muslims, and after what happened in New Zealand, people were asking questions, so we decided to make this event. It's for free, and we have crafts for kids, we have foods from Saudi Arabia and India, and you have a gallery of all the clothes, and you can try on hijabs, and there are many artifacts, and you can learn about Muslims in many different ways. And lots of people are here. You can get to know your neighbors. You can learn about the Quran. You can learn about the prophets. You can try on hijab.
And she's doing a great job in helping us today.
You can have henna on your hands, and it's a fun place to be. You can try all different kinds of foods. You can try all different kinds of foods from all over the place. You can learn why people wear headscarves, and you can learn about all the prophets that lived long ago, and you can see all the artifacts and try them out. And that's really what there's here. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Omnia Muhammad, and I'm here today at Muslim Day to show all the stuff we have, because some people in America, they have the wrong idea about Muslims, and today I'm here. I'm at this station. It's called Try a Hijab On, and basically any girl that walks by, any American girl, can try one on, and she can see how she looks in it. Some stations we have show our history and our holy book, the Quran. So yeah, that's basically it.
My name is Didar Ahmad. I'm from Pakistan. Alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim, and we have today Muslim Day celebration over here to introduce Islam. What is Islam? What is core for life, for your livelihood, how you have to spend your life in the world, and what are the Islamic beliefs, the day after, the judgment day. All these covers and the resemblance of Islam with other religions as well. We have the topic of topics, and we just want to ensure that Islam is the religion of peace, and we want to give knowledge to other non-Muslims and other Christians and other people. They can come and get your knowledge regarding Islam if they have any question.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shafika. I'm an international student here from Malaysia. So today we are in charge for introduction to Islam. So we have a brochure regarding to Islam. So they have a lot of information, basic information of the Islam, and we also have a quiz here. You can take a quiz regarding a basic of Muslim. For example, which country in Europe have the largest population in Muslim populations? Because a lot of people didn't answer correctly so far. Yes, that's all.
So I'm Nafiz. I'm a PhD student here. The basis of what my poster is about, rational basis for belief in one God and His final messenger Muhammad. That's all. Yeah. We go through step by step through logical arguments to believe in one God, and then we show through another set of arguments that Muhammad must be a messenger. He was not a liar, or he was not deluded.
Okay, that's impressive. Thank you.
My name is Umar Farouk. I'm a community member here in Ames. The topics I have today are about Islam in America, the history of Islam and Muslims in Iowa, and also a little bit about Islamic architecture in the US. That's sort of a fun pet project, and we can get to that. So I can just give you a bit of the brief history. With regard to Muslims in America, there is a lot of evidence of Muslims, and actually lots of older societies coming to the U.S. By boat in sort of times before Columbus, before the explorers that we primarily think of in Europe, like Amerigo Vespucci or Columbus. So one piece of evidence that we have there, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, is there are clay heads that have been discovered which resemble West African Muslims. That's where that's one of the places where we think people might have crossed over from is from West Africa. Yeah. The first known instance of Muslims being in the U.S. would be in the early 1500s. There was a Muslim who was a part of a crew that landed off of the coast of Galveston, Texas, and they made their way to Mexico. So that's the first instance we know of a Muslim being in the U.S. for sure. And then, of course, the transatlantic slave trade is the primary point for lots of Muslims being in the U.S. It's estimated that anywhere between 10 and 30% of Muslims, of slaves from that slave trade were Muslims, which is a pretty sizable percentage that we often forget about. After that, you get sort of, I think, two primary developments in terms of Islam in America. One is a giant wave of immigrants in the 1900s primarily. So you get that through things like the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. But also before that, you have smaller waves of immigrants coming from the Middle East and from South Asia and places like that. And also within the black community, you have the development of the Nation of Islam, which I want to be clear is ideologically distinct and separate from Islam, but that is for members of the black community their introduction to a lot of Islamic teachings, and then through the conversion of people like Malcolm X from the Nation of Islam to mainstream Islam, you actually get a large introduction, or a large group of people who from the black community who become mainstream Orthodox Muslims. So that's the history bit. On the Iowa front, the main thing I want to mention is that in Cedar Rapids, the Mother Mosque is the first mosque that was established in the U.S. that is still around to this day. And I believe that was established in 1934, I want to say. So it is certainly been around for a long time, and it is yeah, it's pretty surprising to people that Iowa has the first mosque in American history that is known to be around for this long, but it's true. And then lastly, I have a bit about Islamic architecture in America. This is sort of a fun side project for me, because when we talk about architecture and Islamic art and science, we have a tendency to talk about it in the past entirely, but people don't understand that those influences have affected American architecture. So at the top here, you have sort of traditional examples of Islamic architecture. You see geometric designs, vaulted archways with intricate designs, tall columns and towers with domes, things like that. But down here in the middle, all of this is in the U.S. This is the Alamo, and you'll notice there's a little window above the doorway. That has elements of Spanish or Moorish architecture. This was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. It's in Marin County, California. It's a community center, but you'll notice similar design elements, and those are allegedly borrowed from when he visited Baghdad. We have a Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's a museum. I actually don't know the location of this off the top of my head, but if you look at it at first glance, you might assume that it's a mosque. It really borrows a lot of the common dome and tower elements, and this is actually a cemetery, I want to say in Los Angeles, and you notice a lot of the similar elements there. So, you know, whether it's the influence of Islamic art styles on Western architects, people like Frank Lloyd Wright or Minoru Yamasaki, or whether it's Muslim architects, folks who helped design like the Sears Tower, like Fazlur Khan, or sort of modern examples of traditional Islamic architecture in the U.S. This is from the Diyanet Center, which is in Maryland. That was built very recently in the last few years. There's a lot of really interesting examples of those influences on American society.
So my book is about Islam as a religion of peace. So there's this one word that we often talk about is jihad. What does jihad mean? In Arabic, jihad means struggle. It doesn't mean holy war. It doesn't mean anything else. It means struggle, and it can be anything. Like struggling to become a better person, to become a better student, maybe.
My name is Fikri. I graduated from PhD program in Industrial Engineering at Iowa State University in May 2018. And then I'm currently working on Principal Financial Group as an operations research analyst. So today we have 3 topics to present to the visitors. The 3 pillars of Islam, which is Hajj, Zakah, and the fasting during Ramadan. So it's very good, alhamdulillah, and we are present. So there were many people asking, especially about Hajj and fasting, because it's kind of incredible for the people spending money for the Hajj and like tawaf, running between the 2 hills of Safa and Marwa, and also fasting. They barely believe that how your body is available for that fasting during, especially in summer. So we are trying to present that. So we are so happy. Well, alhamdulillah, we are here.
My heart is so full of longing. I wish to be close to my beloved. I dream to walk in the streets of Medina and to quench the thirst of my spirit by visiting you, O Muhammad. Assalamu alayka ya Rasul Allah. Assalamu alayka ya Habibi ya Nabi Allah. Assalamu alayka ya Rasul Allah. Assalamu alayka Nabi Allah, Ya Rasul Allah. I left all my troubles and worries as I entered your mosque so gently. And as I finally stood there before you, I couldn't stop my tears from falling in your presence, oh Muhammad. Assalamu alayka.
I think it's very well organized and very well done. It's amazing to see so many in the Muslim community come together to put on an event that can showcase their culture and religion and many different parts of things like dress and customs. It's extremely well done. It would be a great event for anyone to come and learn more about the Muslim culture. I think there's lots of things I'm going to learn. I'm just actually getting started going around the tables. It's delicious.
My name is Musle. I am here to present the purpose of life. So you can see my poster here. So if you have any complex device like this, so you would definitely think this is very complex device, so somebody has created that thing, and you will expect to get the instruction or the user manual from the manufacturer. So our body is far more complex than this device. So definitely we expect some manual from the God, and God has already given us the guidance or the manual through all the prophets. Every generation they have received their guidance. So we believe as a Muslim our guidance is the Quran. So in Quran we have this life cycle. So we are here now and our destination is to reach here. So the whole purpose of our life is to be happy at the end, not on the way. So I cannot try to be happy on the way. This will never happen because I will not have everything that I want. So there is no, I cannot be here. So Islam says try to be happy here. So how can I be happy here? By following the instruction. So God says worship me and you will be happy. So what is worship? To acknowledge Him first, then whatever He wants us to do that. Then He will give me heaven or hell. So main purpose is to reach here and be happy at the eternal life. Thank you.
My name is Aja Live, and I think this is beautifully done. It's well organized. The food is delicious. There's a sea of people from different nations, and everyone's so kind and welcoming and open, and I think it's fantastic.
Okay, do you get anything new from today's event?
I got to see some items I'd only heard about, such as the prayer rug. I'd never seen a prayer rug before. I think there was a lot of clarification or just some things I didn't know, more information. I didn't really know about sort of the imagery of the door to Mecca. That's not something I'd seen before. I didn't know there was sort of a stereotype of a black box. People think Muslims pray to a black box. I had never heard of that before. But I think I'd probably met Muslims from Malaysia before and didn't know it, but I'd actually met a few Muslims from Malaysia, and that was nice. And just, again, getting the opportunity to see people together and congregated more so. Like you kind of see maybe these Muslims in this area and this Muslims at the library, but getting to see more of the community's Muslims together in one space.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My name is Uwais Saman, and I'm here to run the Prophet Muhammad table and introduce people to Prophet Muhammad and his life and his history and like some of the values he teaches. So here we have a timeline of his life, and here we have some of the non-Muslims' views on him, and here we have some of the values that he teaches.
What do you think of such an event?
This event I find to be a good idea because a lot of people don't know about Islam, and they see the news like terrorism this, terrorism that, stuff like that. And now that with the event in New Zealand, it's a great opportunity to get people to come, and the event is a great idea. It has great food, great topics, and overall just a great thing.
I have with me officers.
thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today to reach out to you all. And unfortunately, the circumstances that drove us to have that outreach to you are unfortunate, but we couldn't be happier to have this great relationship that we have with you all. Everybody that we've met and talked to has been so kind to reach out and happy to be with us, and we look forward to continue to build that relationship with you all. I think actually Officer Dilo and I were just talking about how we wish that this would happen more often. The community needs more of these events. Please let us.
It's great to have you with us here.
I hope that we have an open invitation to come.
Thank you. We'll do that. Thank you very much. So enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, here.
At any time that you have the opportunity to interact with people of different religious philosophies or different thought processes, you always learn something. And if you don't, that's your own fault if you don't gain something from it. So just being around everybody and just everybody being as nice and open to us, you learn. You learn through the food, you learn from talking to people, you just learn interacting with people, which is why I think it's important to do more of these events like this where everybody interacts with each other and is interacting with people that aren't like themselves, and I think that's important.
So Sergeant was the first one came to Islamic Center. He said what he can do. I was really touched. So I asked him one request that he can send his people, his staff, a couple of times, especially on Fridays when we are gathering. They just come around, just look around, just take a round and see everything is okay. And he has been doing that. So I, on behalf of the Islamic Center, really appreciate these officers over here and their services to the community.
Thank you very much. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Today, I am excited for today that everybody is coming and visiting, learning about Islam and asking questions. I am really happy to answer some of them. Today I am representing 3 pillars of Islam in my booth. I am doing representing the 3 pillars of Islam. The Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, the fasting month, and the second one is we are doing the zakat, which is the giving charity, and there is also we have Hajj, the pilgrimage.
My name is Adil Suleiman. I am a PhD student here at Iowa State University. I am here honored to present the Quran table, and Alhamdulillah we are trying to tell people about the Holy Quran, our book, and to answer their questions. For example, what's the Quran? How was the Quran revealed? How do I know that it's from God? And we can explain, they can read through. And we have also interesting facts about the Quran, for example, the numbers in Quran, word repetition, etc. And also we have interesting news here about the copy of the Quran that was found in the University of Birmingham, UK. And scholars are saying this is the oldest copy of the Quran in the world today. And they found with 95.4% accuracy that this goes back 1300 years ago, and they are saying the person who wrote this is must meet Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And interestingly, it's the exact same things that we have today, alhamdulillah. And here we have people, if they would like to listen to the Quran, and here is also the translation, and Sheikh Mshari al-Ifasi is reciting, and they can have a copy of this poster and copy of the Quran if they would like. And at the end we will answer their questions if they have any questions. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair, Abu Hashim.
So, in this video, it's a movie called 1001 Inventions, and this clip is talking about how the Dark Ages is actually the Golden Ages in Islam. So, during the Golden Ages, there were a lot of revelations and discoveries that happened in Baghdad and that area, and there were a lot of universities and knowledge that spread around there. So, it went to like China and Africa and everywhere else, but it originated from there. And it's pretty cool because there is a university, the first one actually that was invented or founded by a Muslim lady called Fatima al-Fihri. So that was in like, I think 800s AD. And this also talks about the inventor called
Ibn Haytham, and he was the guy who came up with the first camera. He called it camera obscura. So what happened was, it's really interesting, that he actually went to prison because he had a commitment where he had to build a dam for the caliphate, but he couldn't. So the caliph put him in a prison. But there was light going through his prison cell, and he discovered that light travels in rays, and it hits the back of our eye, but it's actually flipped. And then when it goes to our brain, we process it that way, and that's where the camera came into play. So that's where like the box is and that little hole. So back in the day, like before we had cameras like on our phones and stuff, we had that. So that's where that came from.
My name is Osama Abdul Khaliq. I'm a professor in the Aerospace Engineering Department at Iowa State University. I think it's very important for us to outreach to the community to inform the non-Muslims about the true Islam, true values of Islam, the heritage, the history, the culture and civilization that the Muslims had over the past 1400 years. I think the most important thing in my opinion is that I would like people to know about Islam from their neighbor Muslims, more than just ideas or misconceptions that they could get from the media. Just get to know your Muslim neighbor, talk to your Muslims, and learn more about Islam from them.
Yeah, so these are traditional clothes which are worn in Pakistan. This would be our everyday wear, where we are a very diverse country with 5 different provinces. So each province has its own traditional clothes. So over here is a mix of all the clothes. To my left you see is one set which a male would wear, but everything else is usually for females. It's formal plus informal, and I could see some male clothes on that side as well, and it's one of those which we are wearing as well. It's this is what an everyday wear in Pakistan would be for a male person. And this guy is from Balochistan, so he wears a shawl as a tradition on top of his clothes. I'm from the Punjab region, so I'll just wear a coat or a waistcoat to make it formal. The main idea for on the Muslim Day in Ames is to show other people and other religions about the Muslim cultures and try to promote a positive image of Muslims here in Ames and show them that we Muslims are peace-loving as well. Lately, news has not been that good for Muslims around the world. Events like these is going to promote that Muslims are here for peace too.
Today has just been an amazing chance to learn and just bond with the community, and a community that I feel like, especially in Ames, we don't have much of a chance to see or have this deep interaction with. I feel like my experience learning today has been different in a lot of ways. So not only have I learned from a lot of the booths, and especially I found the Science in Islam booth, Women in Islam, also any sort of things that went over kind of the tenets of Islam to be really educational for me, but also talking to the people at the booths has been incredible because I learned so much about their personal experiences too. I have to say I have not been to an event like this before. This has been really incredible. I enjoyed the food, the activities in the booths, but my favorite part has been I had an hour-long discussion with the lady who ran one of the booths, and we talked about kind of our similarities and the way that we should appreciate differences a little bit more in this country right now. Thank you.
Hi. Assalamu alaikum, my name is Manab. Assalamu alaikum, my name is Basmala. We're at Muslim Day and in Ames. It's fun, and there's a lot of food and a lot of activities for you to do. Yeah, I was volunteering at the kids table, and it's really fun because we give kids brochures and that talk about Islam, and it's really fun because a lot of people don't really know much about Muslims, so they get to know more about us and what we do, what we eat, well, the foods we eat in Ramadan, celebrations, yeah. So I feel like a lot of teenagers, they know what the media tells them, and especially that in school we just learned about Islam, and the way the teacher gets wrong information, so he tells the kids wrong information. Hopefully he's not watching this. Anyway, so then the kids grow up knowing wrong things rather than the right things, so we're just having this event so they actually know, like they have like a reliable resource to actually know information about Islam. How hard it is to be a Muslim in
it's actually pretty hard, since sometimes people think wrong of you, and they treat you differently than other kids, especially in school. I think it's the hardest when you're in school, because like sometimes in school when you don't fit in, like the kids cast you out as
I feel since we live in Ames, a lot of people actually don't treat us that badly, but I've heard a couple of stories of my friends how they were mistreated. Yeah, the way they were treated, and they were treated badly because they were Muslim. So yeah, that's why we have this event, so people actually know what we do and that we're not bad and we're really nice.
And some people don't intend to treat you badly, but they just feel like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and that's what they know about us. They don't know the truth, because if I know someone is bad, then I won't talk to them. But because I don't know the truth, but if I know the truth that they're not actually bad, then yeah, it's not really their fault. That's why we're having this event again. Yeah.